We want to honor God because He sees everything.
You were born with a plan and a purpose. He's the God of all things possible. He's the God of all miracles.
Welcome to Grace with Nina Michelle Humphreys.
And I am Nina Keegan. You are going to be so glad you are tuning into this today because we have the most amazing guest. We love this guy. Michelle, you want to do the honors?
He is one of the funniest political analyst on the planet. He really is. He has for over 20 years been with the Christian Broadcasting Network as the chief political analyst, and he really knows his stuff. He actually wrote the book Donald J. Trump, His Spiritual Journey, and he is, you can see him on the daily on Real America's Voice with American Sunrise. And so will you please welcome David Brody. All right,
Wow.
David.
welcome.
What an intro. My goodness. I will zell you both later, by the way.
Well, and I didn't even mention Lisette and the kids, and you've got such a full life.
Well, it's great. I'm blessed for sure. And 3 granddaughters now, so that's exciting.
It's amazing. David, we're just going to jump right in here. First of all, what is going on? Like everywhere right now, we have Minnesota, we have, or we're going to go get Greenland. What's happening with Venezuela? We have the Gaza Riviera that Trump's planning. Like, what is happening?
About to be USA, the empire?
Yes.
What's happening?
What is in your mind about all this?
Okay, first of all, you're right. I didn't have Greenland and Venezuela on my bingo card, for sure. I don't think any of us did. Look, here's what I think. I mean, we can talk about Minneapolis in a moment, but overall, I think what's going on here, and I'm going to be a bit critical of the president here. Look, I think he's fallen in love with being the peace president. I think that's what's going on here. And let me be kind of more specific about it. He's been asked a couple of times, what do you want your legacy to be? And he goes, I want to be known as the peace president. Well, here we are. I mean, I think that if you look through that lens, whether it be helping the people in Venezuela, potentially helping the people in Iran with potential strikes that could come any moment, and then of course you've got Greenland, which is not so much about the people, but it is about the national security. Everything, and then of course he always talks about how he's solved 8 1/4 wars. I love how he puts the quarter in there. Yeah. So like, who's calculating that? Is that 8.27? Is he rounding up? Is he rounding down? I never quite understood the math. So, he always talks about that. And so if you think about it, I think that's where his mind is at, knowing this president or knowing this person, Donald J. Trump, for about, oh, my goodness, it's been now 17 years or so. And so, for example, with Iran, I mean, I could see him deciding to strike Iran. And because let's be honest, he will put that on the 8.25 scorecard and say, I've now liberated the people of Iran. He really sees it in those terms. Now, he's going to say all of this is MAGA. And quite frankly, you can make the argument that all of it is MAGA. I mean, Iran has killed 600 or so Americans since 1979. Once again, to be clear, this is not the Ayatollah saying go and kill Americans. It's the Ayatollah saying, hey, Hezbollah, hey, Hamas, here's some money to go kill Americans. And there's many other proxies as well, the Houthis and onward. So if you put it all together since 1979, Iran has killed 600 or so Americans. So Iran has American blood on their hands. Not to mention, it's a national security interest as it relates to, this just in, we're the great Satan, if we haven't heard that before, and the oil that Iran is working in places like Venezuela and others, and cybersecurity threats. So Iran is a threat, and so you can make the MAGA argument there. You can make the MAGA argument with Venezuela. as well as it relates to the oil and it relates to Russia and China not getting this oil and them being a bad boy, if you will, in our backyard. Though I have to tell you, President Trump went around and said, make America great again. He didn't go around saying, make the Western Hemisphere great again. And I think a lot of folks in MAGA are kind of scratching their heads a little bit, but I think they're giving him the benefit of the doubt. Because let's be honest, Michelle and Nina, if this was Biden, we would be like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? He's going to get us down into a quagmire. If this was a neocon president, we would be like, oh my gosh, all they want to do is nation build. But when it comes to Trump, I feel like MAGA gives him a little bit more of a pass because Trump is an in and out guy. He's like, hey, let's just get in and then get out. Look what we did with Iran, right, in July with the nuclear strikes. And you can just go al-Baghdadi and Soleimani. I mean, he drone strikes in and gets out. So, and he's had a record of success. So I think MAGA gives him the benefit of the doubt. Now, having said that, it's kind of a loose, benefit of the doubt. Like, I feel like MAGA sometimes gives him too much credit. Once again, to be clear, what he's done is great in terms of his track record. But if this was anybody else, if this was Biden or a neocon president, MAGA would be up in arms about this. I mean, just this week, Trump called himself the acting Venezuelan president. What?
Yeah.
So. Listen, I mean, I've got some issues with it, as you can tell. Having said that, I can also see why he calls it MAGA, and why it's the Don Roe Doctrine. I know I keep going on, and we can talk about the Don Roe Doctrine, if you will, instead of the Monroe Doctrine. But then again, I get paid by the word, so I should probably continue. But I'll stop.
Well, when you think about all of that, like I do know that even, in our own circles, that people are saying, well, he needs to focus on America and getting things done here. And I think sometimes I look around at some of the things that he starts, or we go after certain things, and then nothing happens. Nothing happens. Like, it goes so far. Like, he did have Comey. He did have, some of these things going on. And then there's, like, always some judge that, throws the stop and throws the wrench into it. And, I feel like that's been kind of hard. There's people who are going, where's Pam Bondi? Where's our FBI? What do you think on some of these things? Like, what do you think's like holding up so many things that people in the United States are mad about?
Well, he has some Republicans, some rhinos that he's fighting against. He's fighting the Democrats, and he's fighting the deep state, and that will never change. I think he thinks it's easier to do things internationally than it is domestically, quite frankly. Having said all of that, the Epstein thing was such a debacle. I mean, that was such an unforced error. I mean, how can you be, Trump for the longest time was saying, let's go and open up all these Epstein files. And then when they finally start to do it, he says, no, it's a big hoax. It's not a hoax. I mean, there's so many things going on there. Pam Bondi, I think her days are numbered. I think it's just a matter of time before she's gone. And let's be honest, MAGA wants to see not just a perp walk. They want to see someone in jail.
Exactly.
And it's not happening. And so that's been a disappointment. But look, I think domestically you can make the argument easily. Well, not only make the argument, it is irrefutable that the border has been cleaned up big time. And so and that's his biggest accomplishment domestically so far. Maybe economically, we'll see how Q1 and Q2 does here. But that's kind of where it is. I do believe, Michelle and I do believe that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can go ahead and do what you need to do internationally and also get done certain things domestically. And they're going to have to do a better job of it, though. They will have to do it.
And we're about to go to a break, David. When we come back, I'd like to talk about the midterms. We'll be right back.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queens $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
Welcome back to Grace. We have David Brody with us, the man that just is the best political analyst. And let me just say, David, I want to know your opinion on the midterms. We just are coming up on a year of having the House, the Senate, the White House. Do you think we're going to win the midterms?
Dicey.
Such narrow margins already that we have. We can't afford to lose any.
What are your thoughts?
No, it's going to be dicey. I'm not a big, well, this just in, I'm a Christian, so I'm not going to get my crystal ball out, obviously. But if I had a Christian crystal ball, if you will, I would say that it's not looking great. It's just not looking great. And there's a lot of reasons why. But let's just start with the economy. Ultimately, well, there's so much to unpack. First of all, Trump's not on the ballot, even though Susie Wiles, the chief of staff for the White House, says that he is going to be on the ballot, because what they're going to argue, the White House is going to say, look, Trump is on the ballot because if Democrats get in control, they're going to impeach Trump for yet a third
that's a fact.
time.
Yeah.
And it's a fact, and it's true. And so maybe that makes a difference in terms of turnout. Then again, let's be honest. The truth of the matter is Trump is technically not on the ballot. And so therefore, it's going to be tough to get those numbers out. And the Republicans have done no favors to themselves here whatsoever, whether it be Epstein or some other things going on. But look, I think ultimately, what's going to happen with the big, beautiful bill? Will we get results on the economy in Q1 and Q2? You know, Q2, quarter two, ends in June, on June 30th. So that'll put us right around July 1st. Let's see what those economic numbers are. And then at that point, if the economy starts to turn, then there could be indeed some good news electorally in the midterms. But having said that, affordability is a very tough nut to crack. And, you know, I know that's a buzzword that Democrats have put out there, affordability. But the truth of the matter is, if you look at the polls, and I'm kind of a geek when it comes to the polls, and I look at the methodology, it is true that Americans are feeling the pinch still, even though gas prices are lower, so much lower than they used to be. And interest rates are lower. And so there are some good signs in the economy. Stock market continues to do well. The tariffs are bringing in tons of money. But you can't present a PDF document to the public. You just can't do it. So, you know, you can argue all you want. The White House can say, look, we inherited a bad economy. Now it's getting better, and look at the numbers, and trot out Kevin Hassert and other people, and Scott Bessent and everything. But you know what? With all due respect to Scott Bessent and Kevin Hassert, but they're nerdy guys with a calculator in their pocket, and people are not going, hey, have you heard what Scott Bessent said tonight? Everything's going to be okay, honey. Don't worry about it. No, that's not how it works, right? And so they've got to figure out a way to connect some of what's going on positive to people's pain. It's kind of like Bill Clinton going, I feel your pain. Right? He did that. Of course, he also lied to our faces.
I do remember that.
Yeah, but he said, I feel your pain. And Trump's not good at I feel your pain. He just doesn't do the empathy thing. So he's going to have to figure, he can't go around and say, look, this is the best economy ever since like ever. You know, he just can't do it because people are going to go, well, yeah, I don't know if I believe that. And quite frankly, one last thing on the economy is that President Trump, his bread and butter, right? He's the business guy. He's the art of the deal. He's the billionaire guy. He's the guy that makes money, knows how to make money and all of that. If the economy is kind of squishy, that's not good for his brand, and it's not good for Republicans in the midterm.
So what do you think midterms also, you know, we just saw, you know, New York, my goodness gracious, Mondana. Like, what in the world? And so we're seeing this kind of rise up. And, you know, I saw it in Gwinnett, Georgia, just a young guy, 21 years old or whatever, same, Muslim, just one, like, but who's backing these people? How are they getting in? You know, what do you think about all of that? Look what's happening in Minnesota. I know we were, thinking about that. Like, so why the big rise on all of that? And then why does it seem that people, just seem to be okay with this? Like, how did he, and especially with the Jewish population in New York, he literally said he's coming after, he's going to tax you more, all these things. So why do you think he got in?
So a couple of things. First of all, I think just overall, writ large, we're way far away from our Judeo-Christian principles in this country. And when you do that, you have rise to other factions, if you will, and other faiths, and especially the Muslim faith. And, there's an opportunity there. And I think we're seeing that. As for Mamdani, it's not the big apple, it's the rotten apple at this point. I'm from New York. I'm from the Upper West Side, the mean streets of the latte-sipping Upper West Side, where, we congregated Zabars with a coffee to say, don't mess with us, hey, can I get two creams with that? So look, I'm from New York, and so it pains me to see what has gone on in New York, but let's be honest, I hate to say it like this, but sowing and reaping, right? They deserve it. They deserve whatever comes from Mamdani. All New Yorkers deserve it, whoever voted for Mamdani, that is. And that gets me into that last part of the question, which is the Jewish vote. Look, as you guys know, I grew up Jewish, gave my life to Christ in 1988. I literally was a New York Jew. I was one of the Reformed Jews that if I didn't see the light, who knows, I might have voted for Mamdani. I was one of those guys. I was sucked into the liberal culture. So the answer to your question, Nina, is pretty simple, even though it sounds complicated, which is that the Jews are not voting against Mamdani because he's espoused anti-Semitic behavior and language. They're voting for Mamdani, actually, because their religion is not Judaism, it's secularism. And that's the key. When you're off biblically, when you're not walking with the Lord, and when you're totally coming at it from a secular standpoint, you're going to buy the socialism, you're going to buy the communism, you're going to buy whatever Mamdani is selling, you're going to buy it hook, line, and sinker. And Jews in New York, most of them, not all of them, but there's obviously a big Hasidic population, there's a big Orthodox population, and some conservative Jews. But by and large, 75% of Jews in New York are Reform Jews. I was one of those Reform Jews. In other words, those are liberal Jews. Right. And liberal Jews do not take the Bible as an inerrant word of God. They don't even follow the Bible, quite frankly. They follow now I'm blanking out, not the Haftarah, oh my goodness, I can't even think of the name of it. I'll get it in a second. The Talmud. Thank you. Hello. The Talmud. And some of the rabbinical laws that the rabbis put forward. So they're not even going off of the Bible. And so if you don't go off the Bible, your view is secularism.
Exactly.
It's not anywhere near Judaism.
Well, and how we started.
By the way, real quick, I just want to say one last thing. I'm sorry, real quick. Is that with the Orthodox Jews, if you notice, the Orthodox Jews, they love the evangelicals. They follow more of that Old Testament inerrant word of God, and they're much more conservative. Okay, sorry about that.
Exactly. And how we started, we have the House, the White House, and the Senate. If that was the answer, if politics were the answer, we would be okay now.
Right.
But it's not. We know God is, and a great awakening is, and we're going to come right back.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
Welcome back to Grace with Nina and Michelle and David Brody. We are so glad he is on with us. And David, I have a question I've been dying to ask you. You know, writing the book, The Faith of Donald Trump and all of that stuff, you know, you've sat down with him, okay, is he saved for one? And then also because we hear him on Air Force One telling the news, the media up there, I don't know if I'll make it to heaven or not. Do you remember those comments? It's like, I don't know.
I remember it.
So that's for your next book.
That's your next book, exactly. So we want to know what you think of those comments because, I mean, we hear, you know, I know Franklin Graham, Jensen Franklin, they have come out and said, yeah, he's absolutely saved, you know, so, you know, of course he needs discernment and, you know, he needs to get with the Holy Spirit. But what do you think about all that?
Well, a couple things. I got God on the line. Hang on one second. I'll just, what do you think? Ultimately, obviously, he'll know way better than you, me, both of you and me and everybody out there. So he'll make that final determination. Having said that, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it, shall
right.
we? When he said that on Air Force One, and he said that a couple other times too, then you don't understand the actual saving grace of the gospel.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that is not a tenet; it is the tenet, if you will. I mean, you know, we're not saved by works; we're saved by grace, and so therefore. When he said that, it concerned me. Now, in my reporting for the book at the time, people like Paula White, Mike Pence at the time, many others. Maybe I shouldn't mention Mike Pence at this point. Sorry, hashtag too soon. My bad. You know, there were a lot of folks, you mentioned Franklin Graham and others, that were telling me straight to my face, absolutely, he is saved, that he was been presented the gospel presentation, that he's given his life to Christ, that he, my understanding is that he had said the sinner's prayer. Now, once again, I'm hearing it secondhand, right? I don't have firsthand knowledge of that. They say that he has accepted Christ as his Lord and Savior, but it doesn't square to me as to if you believe that, then why are you still believing that works got to get you into heaven? The only thing I can think of, and the only way to square the circle, if you will, and once again, I think this is a stretch. But, you know, President Trump, this just in, is not in theology class. I mean, he's not, right? He's not going to be a guy that's going to be, he's all about work. Right? He's all about work. So
is it justice? If we don't see some people go to jail, I don't know that we can recover in the midterms. I think if people would start going to jail for what they've done over these last years, you know, even in the Epstein files, you know, and also with Pam Bondi.
And the election fraud.
Pam Bondi needs to put some people in jail, and I think that would turn the tide for votes. Do you? What are you thinking?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it could. I mean, I think it would get more of MAGA mobilized and energized. So, yes, I think in that case for sure. But I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. No, and here's why. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
There needs to be a precedent so that, you know, they know, okay, well, we might have to think twice about some of our actions because, you know, but they just blindly do whatever they want, it seems, and there's no consequence. And so this is the issue that voters have.
And I feel like people are so tired of the bad news and all of the injustice that I don't know how the pendulum will swing for the midterms as a result.
Well, that's true. And the problem is that, once again, back to fighting the deep state, it's not just that. My concern is that people won't go to jail for a couple reasons. It's not just Democrats, but these investigations by Republicans, like, for example, the Biden auto pen stuff, where's that?
Exactly.
You know, what happened to that? I mean, why is that not tier A? Well, the answer is pretty, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything bad about James Comer, who's investigating it, but there's certain Republicans that are, Tim Burchett's great, there's a lot of people that are great, but there's so many that just don't, let me try to say this nicely, give a hoot. They don't give a hoot, right? It's not a tier A issue to them, and so they don't spend their political capital on it. And there's many Republicans that just want it to go away. That's the same thing with January 6th. January 6th. I mean, we hear a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's like a handful of Republicans that are pushing January 6th to say, hey, we need another investigation. We got to get Liz Cheney. We got to get. There are some people like that for sure. But most Republicans want it to go away.
And people are tired of being outraged without results. And so they're sort of withdrawing, I think.
And
That's
then a lot of the church stays home. Evangelicals stay home on voting. And, you know, it's a shame because when you do really see the numbers, you know, how many people actually do stay home. A lot of people think it's not going to matter because they're going to cheat anyway and all of that. So, you know, it's just... but I do think there needs to be a precedent set on all that.
Well, David Brody, tell us, we've got a minute and 20 seconds. Tell us how our audience can find you.
Well, they can go to D. Brody Reports, at D. Brody Reports on X and on Instagram. Those are the places that I'm pretty much pretty active. And just to conclude with one big storyline that I think everybody will need to obviously look forward to, not forward to, but really look at, not just in 2026, but into 2028, the future of MAGA. What is it exactly? We haven't even talked about Tucker Carlson. We haven't talked about Candace Owens. Don't get me started on Tucker Carlson. And definitely don't get me started on Candace Owens, because then I get out the Alka-Seltzer and the Tylenol.
Tucker, man, he's lost his way.
He's lost his way.
It's unbelievable.
And calling Christian Zionists having a brain virus. I mean, I know we don't have time for all that, but the point is, like, that is a MAGA wing that wants to control the direction of MAGA. Which way is MAGA going to go exactly, philosophically and politically and policy-wise? Something to look at. And J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, I think, is going to be a proxy fight. I know they like each other, but I think Rubio is going to run for president. I think J.D. Vance is going to run for president. And my prediction, I know we got to go, my prediction, I think Trump is going to endorse Rubio.
I think so, too. I agree. So,
well, David,
thank you. We have enjoyed it so much. The time goes too fast. We love you, man. And,
love you back,
we pray good things for you and your family. God bless.
God bless you.
Why do atheists care so much about Christians anyway? Well, they'll tell you this. Religion is bad. It's the cause of most wars. But again, evidence shows differently. It shows that out of 1,763 documented wars, only 123 were due to religion. That's between 6 and 7%. When you take out Islam, that only leaves 3% of all wars that could be attributed to religion.
Does science disprove God?
Is there a war between science and faith?
RDOF uses logic and reasoning.
RDOF has empowered my sons to defend their faith with facts.
If you want to be equipped to defend against the biggest objections to the existence of God, RDOF is the place for you.
Has science really ruled out God? Is faith at war with science? If you want to be equipped to respond to these claims and more, check out RDOF.org. To book a presentation or watch our free videos, go to RDOF.org or find us on Facebook at RDOF Events.
Overcomers TV, streaming now. Download our app on your smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, and more.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. MyPillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA-made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.